right, hey, what's up, 7th graders? This video is going to go over the instructions for the argument essay outline that we're going to work on Monday and Tuesday. So, here is our Canvas class. And if we go to modules, and then this is assignment number 20.1. It's the graphic organizer or outline or whatever you want to call it. It's basically just the plan for our argument essay that we're going to type out the final version of it on Thursday and Friday this week. So almost done with this project. When we get to the assignment page, we see that there are plenty of links. The video is going to be right here, but I'm recording it right now, so it's not here yet. I have an example that I put together for you guys. So I'm going to be working on showing you how to do that. There's also a student example from a couple of years ago. What you're going to be doing is just going through and filling out these boxes, just pretty much putting the puzzle pieces together of all the things that we've been working on over the past few weeks. There are 2 cheat sheets posted here. So a transition words cheat sheet, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute or so. And then the lead-ins or sentence starters cheat sheet that we worked on when we were looking at like how to introduce a quote. So that's what that's all about. Here's a pro tip for you. Use your graphic organizer from last week. So last week we were working on number 18.2 actually. When you were looking at all the articles and you were pulling in all that evidence, and that should be saved in your Google Drive if you finished it. Like if you turned it in and everything, it's going to be in your Google Drive, or you can go back to, actually scratch that. You cannot go back to 18.2 because it's a new semester. Never mind. So that's why it's important to find it in your Google Drive. Pro tip number 2 is to use the notes from last week if you, to help you if you feel like you're a little bit stuck. So if you're not remembering what commentary means, here are the slides from last week, the commentary slides. So remember we practiced with all of this last week. We did a ton of stuff last week, you guys. So, go back to those slides and look through those notes if you need help with that. Same thing with the lead-ins. All right, so I'm going to get started working on this argument outline. The best thing to do is click on this link right here so that it pops out to a new tab. So here it is, nice and big and pretty. Argument outline, I got the video instructions, the organizer from last week, and the articles for each topic. If you didn't do the organizer from last week, you're going to be getting all of your information from these articles. So you're kind of going to be doing this from scratch, which is why that organizer was so important last week. Because everyone who has that organizer done can just kind of go in and copy and paste. If you didn't do that organizer last week, you're kind of starting from step 1 instead of like step 2. So you'll have to go through these articles and find the evidence that works for each box. So to get started on this outline, the first box is to do your topic sentence. So your claim, which is your opinion, and then the word because, and then the main idea of your evidence. So kind of the example that I have over on the left is fast food is harmful because it causes health problems. So you kind of just need to find this like umbrella statement about why you think, video games are helpful or harmful, or why you think zoos are helpful or harmful. And that one's totally up to you. There's no right or wrong answer as long as it makes sense. So for my example, I'm going to do social media is harmful because of its negative effects on people. So there's topic sentence, claim, and main idea. Next box is the lead-in. So that's the part where we sort of introduce our quote. And all you have to do is write the sentence starter. So just like it shows up on this sheet right here. And my favorite one is always according to, but I'm going to make mine a little bit fancy and say, according to an article titled The Good and Bad Studies Look at the Influence of social media on teens. And then you can put a little comma right here. Then we're getting to our first evidence, okay? So this is where on that graphic organizer, you could just really easily copy and paste if you have that done. If not, it's going to just take like an extra step because you're going to need to find a quote from the articles. So my quote right here is, social media can make depression worse. And this quote right here is from this article. So that's where it came from. This is a factual piece of evidence. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to highlight the word factual so that I know that this is not like a personal story. It's actually from, it's from an article. So you can copy and paste the quote, or you can explain it in your own words. If you're feeling like the point of the quote is really good, but maybe it doesn't say the words in exactly the right way, I think the best way is always just to copy and paste it. Giving credit obviously to where the article is, but putting it into your own words sometimes gets a little tricky. So just make sure that you're doing the quote the right way. All right, so then we get on to commentary. So we're going to respond to each of these two questions. So this is where we explain the evidence in our own words, and then we say, well, why is this important? How does this connect to the claim? And so I'm going to say, this means that looking at certain sites can make some people feel worse about themselves than they already do. This evidence supports my claim because it describes a way that social media can be harmful. Okay, so this is evidence number one. So already a third of the way done with the outline. So we've got our lead-in, we've got our evidence, we've got our commentary. Check. So then the next part, to get to like lead into evidence number two, we need something called the transition word. This is something that we didn't really talk too much about, but I made a cheat sheet for you. So all you have to do is open up this cheat sheet and find something like I think one that could work right here is additionally, because I'm adding more information here. I'm starting off with evidence number one, and I'm adding a second piece of evidence. So additionally, and then we can choose another lead-in. So I'm going to choose something that like starts off the article. So as stated in the second article, social media makes young people save less for later, a survey shows. From USA Today. So here we have the article title and then the source. So there's the article and it came from USA Today. And now we just type in the quote. So social media makes people want to spend more. So, easy as that. This is another piece of factual evidence. I'm going to highlight factual again. Heading down to commentary, where I explain why this is important, why I'm pulling it into my outline here. So this quote is from an expert named Terry Carlson, who works for a financial company. She explains that Americans spend too much money because they want to show off in front of their friends on social media. This supports my claim because This is another way that social media can inspire young people to participate in harmful habits. All right, so commentary. I've answered both of these questions. Explain the evidence in my own words. I did. And how does this evidence prove your claim? Why is it important? So this supports my claim because, and then, why. So then I'm going to choose another transition word. And again, if I'm feeling stuck, I can look at this this cheat sheet right here. I'm looking for words that add information. So a word like subsequently means like furthermore or additionally, in addition to, still more, anything like that. Anything that says you're going to be adding more information, because I'm going to be adding another piece of information right here. So my lead-in for evidence number 3 is going to be something like this because it's going to be an anecdotal piece of evidence. So I've noticed in my personal life that's just introducing, what I'm going to be saying, like the personal story I'm going to be sharing. Friends of mine often feel pressured by their acquaintances' social media accounts when they see other people, yikes, I'm not very good at typing today, other people reaching milestones before them, like getting married or graduating from college. They feel upset. They either feel jealous or concerned that maybe they're doing something wrong. Okay, and so again, if you have, or concerned, if you finished that graphic organizer from last week, that number 18.2, you have all of this done already and you won't need to type all of it out. You can just copy and paste it really simply. I'm just going through and typing everything out just so those of you who maybe haven't finished that graphic organizer know that this isn't going to take you like 10,000 years to finish. It just requires like a little bit of thinking and focus. So the next part is where we're going to need to respond to those commentary questions again. So I can say something like, many people who engage with social media could possibly feel the same way. This further proves my claim that social media is harmful because it provides unrealistic expectations for some people. And then the very last part is where you just restate your claim and main idea. So just something along the lines of, this is why I believe that social media is harmful. The end. And then you've finished your whole outline, and all you need to do is click the submit button and turn it in. So that's it, 7th graders. I hope that this was helpful.